Happy Wednesday. Happy Workshop Wednesday. Remember to drop your grade level on the chat so we can break out into break rooms. We're gonna keep this going. Underclassmen have their workshop, and seniors have their workshop. So make sure that you guys get in the habit of putting your grade level. If you need to ever get put in the correct breakout room, just use the chat for that. We're gonna go ahead and start with announcements real quick. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're having a guest speaker at the Wilmington location. This event will be live streamed, and the Zoom link already went out. But if you're curious, needed, let us know. We'll make it available. We're bringing in one of our union partners that is looking to hire, that is looking to train students and potentially hire them. Any of the of our students that want to go into becoming a carpenter. So tomorrow's presentation, food will be included. So we do need to get a head count. Let your coordinator know that you're attending. So that we can accommodate food. So tomorrow at 4 p.m., we will have a union representative talking more about the trade certification option to becoming a carpenter. This is another great example, another great option for anyone that's maybe undecided or just wants to give a trade an option or have that as a plan B or plan C. So tomorrow at Wilmington, 4 p.m., make sure that you are RSVPing or letting us know you're coming. I hear the food that Wilmington's getting is going to be very yummy, so make sure that you, the staff know you're coming. Monday is Cesar Chavez Day, so the clubs will be closed. There will be no school, so just want to put it out there that the clubs will be honoring Cesar Chavez Day on Monday. We will be there on Saturday for tutoring, and then we'll just honor Monday for Cesar Chavez Day. Now, just let me know when we're ready to go for the breakout rooms. So with no further ado, our scholarship does come out today. It's official. So any that are in this presentation will get to not only see what it looks like, but we'll get to actually know what it takes to win. These donors, partners that we partnered with over the years have been very generous. And recently, this upcoming school year, this rising graduating class is now able to tap into more scholarship money. One donor did double his contribution from 5,000 to now 10,000. He is awarding five $10,000 scholarship, and he's been a partner of ours, Joe Bridge, who genuinely believes in our students and believes in giving. And the last 20 years almost, he's been a donor as far as when it comes to helping our students pursue higher education. We have students that have on his scholarship and have now graduated within that 5-year mark. It used to be 1,000 for every year that you're in school, and if you finish school in 4 years, then you'd have that 1,000 kind of left over for yourself. And now it's 2,000. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about our collaboration with LASIV, who has been, again, year after year, very, very to scholarships when it comes to giving the money to the students. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to show you what College Bound Scholarship looks like. We're going to share some videos. And so as an incentive, as a good job, we're going to hook you guys up that are at this presentation. You get to have it before anyone else. And then we'll put it out to the student body eventually. But if you're here, you're a senior, you're ready to learn, know that you're going to get it before anyone else. Kudos, congratulations to the Toyota recipients. You're still considered for this one, so do not oversee it or do not pass it away or be dismissive about it. If you got Toyota, we have a lot more collaborations, a lot more partnerships with others, other partners in general. We have Kiwanis that's also out. Also great opportunity, also renewable scholarship, as well as Toyota. Some of our scholarships are renewable as well. And so if you didn't get Toyota, I hope that after today you are inspired to apply for ours, and we will most definitely help you and walk you every step of the way, and hopefully you're able to become one of our recipients this year at this year's end of the year celebration. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and let Miss Ingrid share her screen. Awesome. Thank you for that. Make sure you guys are all filling out the Google form. That is how you're going to get the scholarship before anyone else. The word's going to get out, and everyone, I kid you not, is going to attempt to apply for it, even students that aren't part of College Bound. So the requirement is that you are part of our program and that you are part of our organization. And so if you do tell your friend about it, make sure that at the very least they're members. Now their membership is going to be honored, and we'll see where it goes from there. But make sure that you're filling out the Google form to get this information.
Okay, thank you, Karina. Also, one thing I do want to ask is that you participate. There will be a gift card. There will be a few questions. This will all be part of the presentation just to make sure you're engaged. And not only that, but to also help you remember, because if you've been a club member for, since forever, since 9th grade, you've been part of a lot of activities, a lot of events. So this will help you kind of remember, like, oh yeah, I was part of that. So, as we go through the presentation, you'll see what I mean, but we will have certain times where I'll pause, I'll ask a question, and I'll need an answer on the chat. And that way, whoever gets the most correct answers will be winning a gift card to where, I don't know, but you will be winning the gift card. So definitely participate. We're looking at all participation. And then without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So like Ms. Karina mentioned, the moment you have all been waiting for, and some of you are probably like, yes, we've been waiting. So with that, let's go on to the next slide. Our 2022 College Bound Scholarship, like Ms. Karina said, it is officially out. For being here today, you are going to be seeing it first before everybody else. So thank you for joining us. And let's talk about our impact, just to kind of reiterate like what we do. So as the Boys and Girls Club, we have tons of partners. I think you've heard this over and over again. Like she mentioned, we have partnership with Toyota. We have scholarship recipients for Toyota. Again, congratulations. And just quickly, for the class of 2021, we were able to award over $200,000 in scholarships alone. Altogether, securing financial aid for 2021, we were able to help students secure $9.87 million in financial aid. And that, what does that look like? That looks in it come in forms of grants, so FAFSA, DREAM Act, Cal Grant, scholarships, and even loans get included in there, because if you don't apply and let's say you need that extra little money to get you over the hump to pay for housing or tuition, loans are part of financial aid. So we help secure, like I said, $9.87 million. That's a lot of money. So, you're in the right hands where, not only are we helping you apply to college, but we're helping you ensure that you have the money to go to college. So you better recognize that there is money to validate all your hard work, all your activities, all your involvement, and what better than to do it with us, right? And really quick, I'm gonna show this video. Let me just make sure that my audio is being shared. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this quick little video. Oh, sorry. JK. Okay, let's do it one more time, my bad. Here, play it. Okay, let's see this.
Hey guys, my name's Devin, and I'm here to talk about what College Bound is and what it means to me.
Sorry.
Hey guys, my name's Devin, and I'm here to talk about what College Bound is and what it means to me. So for as long as I can remember, I never knew what College Bound was until about 2016. I only live 4 houses up, but never did I know that it was going to be my sanctuary and to help me build and grow into the person that I am today. College Bound really helped me become the person I am today because it taught me how I can see different people who are in my community who are also struggling, and it humbled me. While my parents got divorced in 2017, that's the same time I met Fall, and me and Fall really had a good connection. She told me that I had what it takes to get a higher education, and it really motivated me to be better and really push myself. and I was really on my own these past couple of years, and it's been pretty hard. And you know, I didn't get to have a real senior year, I guess you could say, and I just know that College Bound made my high school experience better by giving me a community that I never knew that existed. And I just really wanted to let you guys know that College Bound means a lot to me, and one day I want to give back to College Bound if I can. Hopefully I plan in the future. And one thing that really helped me at College Bound was connecting with people who I went to school with, and we really grew and had different connections, and I met people who struggled just like me, and we pushed each other, and we motivated each other to become successful. And I think that's really important to me and my sense of community in San Pedro. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Alrighty, so again, you're hearing it. Let's see, this one. Okay, perfect. Oh. Sorry, I don't know what I did. JK. Sorry.
I think it's part of the where the
Yeah,
video is being
okay.
shared.
Sorry, again, you would think after 2 years, I'd have this down to the T, but we still have our moments. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Okay, let's do it. Alrighty, so with the first participation, what is this activity called? I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to give me your answer in the chat. After 10 seconds, we'll get those answers. So what is this activity called? I'll go ahead and count backwards. So go. I want to see the chat notifications going crazy. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your last answers in there. So does anybody want to be brave and say it out loud? Unmute yourself.
Case managing.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. Case management. All righty, so now let's talk about the type of scholarships that we have available. So when you see our application, which you'll get a glimpse of it through the slides, but there'll be 3 boxes. So one of them will say Boys and Girls Club of the Los Angeles Harbor Memorial/Partnership Scholarships. You have the Rich Family Foundation Scholarship Program, which Ms. Karina already touched upon, and the College Access Foundation California scholarships. What's the difference? Again, we'll go over that as we present it, and then the amounts that each one might be able to give you. Also, let's see. Those of you that have been part of our program for quite some time, can anybody name this activity? Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Ooh, I don't see the notification numbers going up. 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty, who wants to be the brave soul and tell me what this activity is?
College touring.
Yes, thank you, Maria. So college touring, college exposure trips. I hope some of you had the opportunity this past summer. After the pandemic, we were able to visit 4 campuses. So if you were here this summer, you had the opportunity to see what we usually do in the summer. The year of the pandemic, we had to do it virtually, but we made it happen for you all. So I hope those of you that were able to go on campus in person had that opportunity this past summer. Alrighty, so let's talk about the types of scholarships. So the Boys and Girls Club Scholarship, the Partnership Scholarship, that's who can apply to that? So students attending a vocational or trade school, a community college, or a 4-year university. Also, what are some of the requirements? Active participation in the Boys and Girls Club College Bound program. And again, like I said, the awards vary from financial need to school supplies. So these scholarship opportunities can be for students interested in film, needing a laptop, or to specific schools and other majors. So please make sure you check off this box. You'll see the cover page. You'll have 3 boxes. If you qualify for all 3 of them, check off all 3 boxes so you could be considered for the different scholarships that we have. we're gonna make these connections with the donors. And like it said, we've had in the past where students have won laptops because maybe, financial aid wise, they were set, but they needed laptops. We've had students in the past just get different amounts. Sometimes we need specific calculators for our, engineering programs. Calculators that are really, I never knew they were that expensive, but calculators that cost hundreds of dollars. So definitely check this out if you are a community college or 4-year. Now let's go ahead. Let's get those flowing. Who can tell me what event this was? We had it last year virtually, but every year it has been on site, either usually at the San Pedro Boys and Girls Club, or it's also been held at San Pedro High School. So again, I'll give you 10 seconds for those of you that have been with us. Maybe something on the tables might give it out. So if you see it, go ahead and put it in the chat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty, who's gonna be my brave soul and tell me what event this was? Let me check the chat too. Okay, so I see a lot of different, so I see Power of the Pen, I see College Bound, Power of the Pen. Okay, so I don't think anyone got this one, but maybe now that when I say the name, Pathways to Employment. Like I said, we had it virtually last year, and I know actually it was hybrid. Some people were able to go to the club sites and do it there. If not, it was also virtually, but in the years past, it has been Pathways to Employment. So if you've been part of it, maybe in 9th grade, you might remember like, oh yeah, I remember, I went through these workshops. If you've been part of it, you're also taking notes. Like I said, as you're remembering your participation in some of this, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I went to UC Irvine, back in 10th grade. Make sure you're writing these events down, because this will help you when it comes to doing your scholarship. All right, let's go on to the next slide. So the Rich Family Foundation Scholarship. So this is for students attending a 4-year university. Ms. Karina did mention it, that in the past, it had been $5,000 scholarships, so 5 winners for $5,000 each. But as of this year, the amounts did increase and they've actually doubled. So these are $10,000 scholarships. So what do you need to be considered for this scholarship? So like I said, attend a 4-year university. Active participation in the Boys and Girls Club College Bound program for multiple years. Again, keyword active participation, multiple years. So keep that in mind. And the award amounts, again, it's been increased to $10,000, and that amount will be distributed throughout 4 years. So if we do quick math, and my math doesn't fail me, it's about $2,500 per year that you're getting for this scholarship.
Or in the past, it's been $1,000 for up to 5 years. We know that at some schools or some students or some majors aren't maybe done within the 4-year mark, and maybe are done within 5 years. So Joe Rich, who's been a longtime donor, believes in our program, believes in the youth, believes in what the youth is capable of doing. Every single one of the students on the screen is a recipient of the Joe Rich Foundation. It is renewable. And our students are getting currently, there's a young lady on there that's currently still in school at Cal Poly Pomona. Actually, every single one of these students is currently in either their second year in college. And so every year they get $1,000. Joe Ridge, once again, has came forward and has doubled his contribution. He is now awarding this graduating class of 2022, $2,000, which is now $10,000 in a 5-year span. And this is, again, it goes to show your resiliency. He's a firm believer of higher education. He, year after year, has came forward, 25,000, now 50,000 between him and his wife, and have recognized our students that are serious about going the 4-year, that are he's really big on not only getting in but getting through, graduating. We have in the past years some of our alumni graduate from UC Riverside. We have our alumni that have now became staff and are part of our College Bound program. We currently have Joel Rich recipients in probably every part of California that you can think of. And so this is really for our Brazilian College Bound members that have been active through the pandemic. We did a lot of virtual, we did a lot of Zoom, we were hybrid, we were open. No excuse as to I couldn't get involved, I wasn't available, because too many times we were on Zooms to 7 p.m., 8 p.m., even making ourselves available and accessible. We're inside the college centers. And so we do want to remind you that the participation of our program is key. Reason for our workshops, reasons for our Power of the Pen, everything is intentional. And so a lot of these students, we're not just doing College Bound, but traditionally we're doing Keystone, or we're doing LIT, or maybe members since at a young age, or maybe did case management at high school and or after school, came in for tutoring. Those Pathway to Employment event, we have them every year, year after year, the tours. This young lady who's now attending Cal Poly Pomona visit all the colleges, and it was within her interest to visit the colleges, which is how she pretty much selected Cal Poly as her school of choice, because she did her research. She did everything she took to make that educational decision for herself. And so at the end of the day, she benefited from it. She's currently on scholarship. She is the recipient. We get to see her at least once a year to give her check. She's participated in our panels even to date. And so the rest of our students have been the young man in the first picture, in the middle, the young man in the middle picture, were involved since ninth grade. Other Boys and Girls Club even knew who they were. They knew what they were involved in because of how heavily involved they were. Now, some of you got nominated for Posse back in junior year and maybe even became semifinalists. Others of you maybe started with us ninth grade and maybe checked out 10th and 11th, but came back senior year stronger than ever. And so know that we are going to honor those years of membership that you were once part of. We are going to honor College Bound kids because we do have this program at the elementary level. We are going to honor Boys and Girls, College Bound for middle school, and even though any of those that are doing it at the high schools in our college centers. And so we want to emphasize and can't stress enough your involvement. We're well aware of it. We take attendance. Know that we know who these active members are. Know that we know when you're in our centers and when you're in our phase asking our questions and shutdowns and apply. So know that we know, and know that we will do the best to get those that actually are deserving of this big time scholarship. So if you didn't get Toyota, you have a shot at Joe Rich that is now currently 10,000 instead of 5,000.
And just to add to what Karina mentioned, like she said, it's spread out in the course of 5 years in case you need that fifth year, you weren't able to finish exactly in the fourth. So now you have that fifth year, you have that scholarship, but you're like, what if I do finish in 4 years? Guess what? You have a graduation present of $2,000 upon graduation. So definitely one of the best, one of the good scholarships, or they're all great scholarships, but one of, I think, like Karina said, we're taking care of our members, those that are active, those that make that effort to come. We know that everybody has a busy life, but we see those efforts. We see that student that's in like 20 different clubs, but still manages to make it, at least that last hour, before 8 o'clock coming in. So we notice that a lot of what you do doesn't go unnoticed. You might think we don't see every member, but trust us, we see it all. All right, let's go on to the next.
I think we've also been very vocal and very clear as to making up workshops, as to making up case management. We're there to serve you. We are there because of you. After school, during school, we'll call you out of class. And so we want to really level out the playing field and let you know that we've been accessible through the pandemic, through COVID, virtual, in person. And so if you ever missed a workshop and never made it up, know that that was always an option.
Alrighty, so let's get you going again. So can anybody tell me what this activity is? So you see different pictures, you see them in person, you see some screenshots from Zoom. So can anybody or can you put it in the chat? What activity are we displaying right now? All right.
It should
Okay,
be
I
a
see
walk
there's
in the
some numbers
park.
going up in the chat. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does anybody want to unmute themselves and tell us what activity this is?
I will workshop.
Yes, you're in it right now. So yes, College Bound Workshop. So remember, highlight that you've been part. I mean, if you are filling out the College Bound application and then I don't even see workshop, I'm like, oh, I don't know. You know, again, we know that maybe you weren't able to do it in, right live when we're doing it, but like Ms. Karina said, there's been plenty of opportunities for students to make up the workshops one-on-one with your case managers. So College Bound Workshop. All righty. Now, the other type of scholarship, the College Access Foundation of California Scholarship. So who is that for? Who can apply for that? So those of you attending a vocational trade, community college, or four-year university, so that should cover all of you in here, have regularly participated in the Boys and Girls Club College Bound program, must demonstrate a financial need and hold a strong GPA. Award amounts is $1,000 and funds are allocated to the college the student is attending, meaning the money gets sent directly to the college. So if you notice, there are keywords on each of the ones I've covered. There was one that said active participation. This one says regularly participation. Obviously, all of you are here have participated at some level. And like I said, if you qualify, if you're going to a four-year, check off all three boxes. If you're going to a community college, check off the one, or a vocational school, check off the ones that you qualify for. Don't sell yourself short and say, oh, I only want to be considered for the college access. No, also be considered for the Boys and Girls Club one. Karina, do you want to add anything on this one?
This one is again another one of our partners. As you can see, we can have individual donors. We can partner with the foundation. This foundation is a huge student advocate. They're all for giving the money to the student. They want to make sure that the student has the tools, resources to succeed, whether it's money for books, whether it's money for orientation. It is split in half, and so you, if granted, you'd get 1,000. And if you'd get 5,000 when you start school and you turn in your class schedule, and then you'll get another 5,000 after you complete your first semester of college and you enlist in your spring semester. So you would have to turn in your class schedule for the spring as well. We are looking for a certain GPA once you go to college for the first time, in your first time freshman in college. We do hold you to a 2.5, and not so much because we just, that's just what we do. It's just to ensure you don't lose your financial aid. If you were to fall below a 2.0 at any institution, whether it's 2-year or 4-year, you are in jeopardy of losing your financial aid. So it also holds you accountable. And it's a reminder to you that you are definitely there for school. So school should be your number one priority. Here are some of our previous recipients. As you can see, there's schools on there. And this scholarship is directly to you. You do get a sash during graduation. You do get a special recognitions, and so other than just the money, we do get festive. I do want to highlight, and I can't stress this enough, having your blue folder organized, having your items printed in there. You don't. I can't stress this enough. Year after year, our students struggle to put the packet together because they don't have the items in their folders. We are constantly having you print. Printing doesn't cost you anything, and so you need to get in the habit of printing and having these confirmation pages in your file, having Toyota in your file, having your student aid report in your file, college apply tool in your file, because it's going to make it that much easier to put your packet together. Your transcripts by default should be in your file. Your 4-year plan A through G should be updated. We shouldn't be pulling teeth or begging you to print stuff, because when it comes to picking the winners, and my director needs to go to my side and look at your folder, and your folder is super skinny because you forgot to print, that is enough to disqualify you. Letters of reg should be in there. Some of you had already asked for letters, and so you should always have a copy in there. my director will come and examine that you're actually coming to a workshop. She does look at attendance. We do have an Excel. We can backtrack back 4 years from now and know what workshop you attended and when you attended and if you made it up. We have packets that we give at our workshops. We have just proof. So we want you to be the best candidate. The competition isn't really too high. I think what ends up hurting the students when they applied is not having their blue folder in order. It's disorganized, it's all over the place. So after today, make sure that your blue folder is nice and neat and that you have these items in there that Miss Ingrid is going to mention so that you have the best application not only for ourselves, not only for our partners, but to a lot of other partners that we have. It's not just the California Community Foundation, it's not just Joe Rich. There's so many other much more scholarships that you are worthy of earning and getting. There's no capacity. You can walk out with $10,000 and no questions asked. And so definitely set yourself up, get the help, ask us what a blue folder will look like or should look like. And we're going to definitely make sure you get there so that you put the best application you possibly can to not only win $1,000 with LASIF, but even up to $2,000, which we had students in the past get up to $2,000.
And Karina, I just wanted to add or share the reason why we do this, like the $10,000 one. We're going to make that check for $2,000 straight to you. So we're giving you the money. And we do want to ensure that you're in school. We do want to ensure that it's going to our active members that have been part of the Boys and Girls Club and our program involved as early as 9th grade. This is our chance to reward you. We won't send the money to the school. We don't want them to take away a scholarship or lower your financial aid. So this is why we're asking you to take care of business with your file and the documents that need to be in there.
And if I may just end with this, if you were an underclassman, if you were a 9th grader and you started with us, you will know that you got into probably all your schools as a result of having your file in order. It's work. We had it every year where students that have their folder organized and they started with us since 9th grade, 10th grade, or even 11th grade are more likely to get into their dream school, are more likely to get into their other schools, are more likely to get more money in the long run, more money in scholarships. And so we do this intentionally to teach you how to be organized. We've seen it that the ones that get the $10,000 or even the $2,000 scholarships are typically the ones that have their file organized and definitely know. Then they track their service. I think oftentimes students forget what they maybe were part of 9th grade or maybe where they volunteered. And so your blue folder is the best way to keep track. You will know this if your folder is organized because we have a tracker for extracurricular activities. We have a tracker for volunteer service. We will had even gone as far as doing the academic resume with you. You might already have one that you can edit and just make better. So if you've been part of our program and your folder is organized, you will know these forms are in there. If you haven't had a chance to organize your folder, make sure to come talk to us after today.
Just to reiterate, when we ask you to print things, it's for a reason. It's not just because we like to collect all kinds of papers and have stacks of papers. It's for a reason and it's to help you. So if you haven't yet, start, reaching out to your case managers and tell, what's my student aid report? What's this? Let's start printing those out. And like Ms. Karina said, by the time you're getting your packet ready for the scholarship to be turned in, you won't be stressing, the day it's due, trying to get all these confirmations, all these copies, because you'll have already those copies in your file. So let's print. And like she said, take advantage because once you're in college, printing is not going to be free. Alrighty, so let's go again with some more events, activities that we have provided in the chat. Can I see if you guys remember being part of this, but what are these events in the picture? Again, we've had them in person pre-COVID. During COVID, it's been virtual. We've never stopped having them. So if I could see some numbers going up in the chat, so I see that there's some participation. I'll give you 10 seconds 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty, does anybody want to unmute themselves and let us know what events these are? Okay, I'll read the chat. So alumni panel, and the last one, same. Yes, alumni panel. Good job, guys. All right, let's go. Oh, I skipped one. JK, don't do that one. Okay, so what are the scholarship components? What am I gonna be expected to put in it? All right, so we'll have the general application form, which we will have like printed out. If you ask for a PDF version, so you could type into it, because typing it makes it look nicer, we would strongly recommend for you to type it. It just shows us that you took the time to make the application as good as it could possibly be. I know a lot of us don't have the nicest writing sometimes, so it makes it hard for us to kind of read what's on the application. So if you can, write this down, let's type it. So you need the application form. You'll need to record the record of your activities and awards. So again, if you've been working with us, we've been asking you, bring your awards, bring your certificates, anything that you've gotten from school, perfect attendance, honor roll, certificates from the city, member of the month certificates, all the certificates. Try to, if you don't have them in your file yet, start gathering them so we could include those in there. We could know when we do your what's it called? Either if you fill it out, if you're typing, that's part of the application, you know exactly what to type. If you're doing an academic resume, which is strongly encouraged, and again, work with your case managers, we'll help you itemize each thing, because a lot of the times, and we'll go into it later in the slides, we write college bound and then we just try to lump everything we've done with college bound under college bound. But it's like, you've done so much with college bound that you want to learn how to itemize. It's like, okay, yes, college bound workshops, college exposure trips. Again, we'll go over this in a few slides. You will also need 2 letters of rec. So start asking your recommenders. If you haven't had anybody write a letter of rec for you, you want to start reaching out. Remember, we'll let them minimum 2 weeks before, but we're letting you know with enough time to ask for those letters of rec. We do recommend, I wouldn't say it's a must, but it's strongly encouraged for you to have at least one club member, college bound staff, write one of the letters of rec for you. So start reaching out to your case managers. There's been a point where I think I've had to do like 30 letters of rec. So let us know now, because if you're not gonna be the only student we're gonna be doing it for. So give us time, be mindful of our time too, to write your letters of rec. We're not gonna say no to anybody. If you happen to forget, it happens. I know we have a lot going on, but if you can, even at the end of today, if you're on site, go ahead and talk to a case manager. Be like, hey, would you be willing to write a letter of rec for me? And then that way you already have at least one secured. If you're not on site, but you're here on Zoom, go ahead and chat with us or send us an email and ask for those letters of rec. You will also need to, your aims and purpose statement, which is a 1 or 2 page statement. We'll go over what we will be looking for in those statements. It's 3 questions that we ask for you to address. We will also need your high school and college transcripts. If you've never taken a college class, then you don't have to worry about college transcripts because you don't have any, but for sure your high school transcripts. I know here at the Wilmington site, we have the seniors. We have all of the Banning High School students' transcripts. If there are any of my Fremont students, I have access to those too. So again, just ask us for them. We have access to those. I'm sure at your other sites, your case managers should have access to them. But if you don't, start visiting whoever you have to visit, your counselor, your college center, to start getting a copy of those transcripts. Also, if you've ever taken the SAT, a lot of you might have not, or the PSAT, even if it's 9th or 10th grade, if you have any kind of test scores, ACT test scores, AP test scores, make sure you're printing them out. They should already be in your file. But if for some reason, I know a lot of the time students are like, I don't really like my scores, so I don't want to print it. Just print it. Let us have that information, because that could also distinguish someone that went ahead and took the SAT even though it wasn't required. That makes you stand out because you went above and beyond what was required. So print out your test scores. Also, financial aid award letters. As you're checking your portals, some schools have already started giving out financial aid award letters. Go on your portals, check how much money you're getting. This is a very, very, very crucial part to help you answer one of the questions in the statement of aims and purposes. So very important, print them out. Now, if you're like, what if, because I've seen some schools that haven't given out their award letters. I know UC Santa Barbara said as of next week, they'll have them available. If you don't have one just yet, but you want to get started, we can do estimates. So this is again where you utilize your case managers. Based on what you're getting from FAFSA, and how would we know that? With your student aid report or SAR, or your California DREAM Act, your CAR, CAR. Based on your expected family contribution, we can do estimates. Okay, you're eligible for this much in this grant. You're eligible for this much in that grant. Usually, Cal States give this grant. So talk to us. We've been doing this for years. We kind of know more or less what you might get. It might vary from school to school, but definitely start reaching out or working with us to make sure that you have access to these financial aid award letters. Also, we'll need a professional picture. As much as this generation loves filters, we don't want to filter in a little like and all those cool poses you guys do. No, let's do a professional picture, because that you're applying to a scholarship, but you're not posting it on your Instagram. So definitely professional pictures. If you need help, again, come to us. We'll take a picture for you. If you don't have anywhere to print it, we'll see about printing it for you. But students in the past have given us their graduation picture. So whatever professional picture you want to give us, let's take it. If you don't have any, again, we can help you take those pictures. And lastly, a consent form, which will be given to you. You'll need a signature from you and your parents consenting a few things. And again, as you're getting the application, we'll see what that form looks like.
And if I may add, the consent form, what it really does, it allows us, the organization, share your information with other partners, other organizations. We actually have a film scholarship. We have a donor who unfortunately lost her son and was a firm believer of higher education. Her son so happened to be a film major. So we do have one specifically for film. We do have a collaboration and a partnership with SoCal Gas Company. And so this consent form allows us to share your information with these other third-party organizations that are, again, willing to give you the money to go to school, whether you want to study film or if you're going to just do one of ours. But the consent form is very important. The pictures, I do want to say we're able to print them. So if you get us your picture, we'll go ahead and be able to print it. We're taking pictures starting effective today. So anytime after today and you're at the club, you can definitely get your picture taken and we'll print out in a 4x6 or a 3x5. So we do have access to that. The transcripts, we have access to. The letters of rec, we're going to come through for you. You best believe that you're going to get a letter of rec from us if you talk to us now. So focus on the aims on purposes, focus on the academic resume. Don't stress about the letter of rec, at least not the one from the Boys and Girls Club, but it may be anyone from your school. Because we do have time allocated, we will have the time, we'll make the time to have those letters of rec. And so believe us when we tell you we're going to come through for you. Now be mindful, there is going to be a lot of requests. And so a friendly reminder is nice, but you asking us about your letter every day for 4 weeks ain't going to speed up the process. So know that when we give you our word of mouth, we're going to come through and we're going to have your letter. Just worry about terms and purposes, focus on the academic resumes, itemize the activities you've been part of, get in the habit of print out those financial aid awards. Even if you're not going to go to the school, print it, because you're better having it in your packet and not needing it than needing it and not having it. And so get in the habit of printing. If you don't know how to print your student aid report, we again can assist with that. And so it's super can be easy. We're literally helping you how to put your packet together. We're going to go into how to win the scholarship, the best part of the presentation. So make sure you're taking notes, make sure you're asking questions. I'm taking notes, so we want to make sure that you get the best possible resources so that not only are you eligible to apply, but to win some of this money, more than enough to go around. So make sure that you are taking notes.
Thank you. Okay, now, can anyone name this event? So actually, we haven't had this event. So if you can name it, brownie points for you. But we've also had something similar. And Miss Karina mentioned it earlier. So I won't give the name, but it's been an event where you've had people from unions come and talk to you, answer some questions. Either it was in person at your club site or it's been broadcasted. Like she mentioned, this week will be at the Wilmington site. So can anybody, again, I'll take two different names, either the original name or the new name that we have. So if I could, let's get those brain juices going, flowing. Can anybody guess what event is in this picture?
Now,
Let's see
I
if,
do want to
go ahead.
highlight that tomorrow's event is going to help you win this scholarship because it's a special event that we're having. And so if you weren't considering attending, I'd highly recommend you tune in tomorrow, whether it's virtual or whether you're at site. But these special events are once in a lifetime, maybe once a year. Sometimes we get to have them every year after that. But the one that we're having tomorrow is a very unique one. We don't think ever having something like that, but maybe something similar. So kudos to anyone that attends tomorrow. We are going to be taking attendance. And if you add that as part of your packet, know that you're going to definitely help yourself stand out.
So does anyone want to just kind of, I don't think anybody put it in the chat. Does anybody want to guess what event this is? We used to have it once a month before on a Thursday. Okay, I don't see anybody chatting, but in case anybody forgot, maybe you were a part of it in 9th grade. This specific picture is on Thursday. And like I said, I would also accept the Union Fair workshops that we've been having. So that's what, this is what this event is. I don't know if anybody remembers maybe back in 9th, 10th grade. Let's go on to the next section. All right, so the application form. The application form is key to know that your application is complete. It has your general info, your name, your address, your phone number, what schools you're planning to attend, or what school you're planning to attend, what major, a few other questions, how many years you've been with the club. And don't lie to us and tell us I've been with the club for 20 years because you're only 18. So how did that happen? I think there's only one person I could think off the top of my head that could actually say that. But she's not a senior yet. So how many years have you been with College Bound? If you were part of College Bound Kids, if you were part of College Bound Middle School, we have records of that. So again, don't go lying saying you've been part of College Bound for 10 years and then we go and realize that you've only been a member 3. We'll find out. So honesty is key. So let's be honest. Also, are you employed? Have you worked? Have you worked here at the club? Internships. Have you done the club internship? There is that question on there that you'll be able, so we could get to know you a little more, the major you're planning to pursue, and your top 2 schools. Of course, you can only go to one school, so you would put the one you're planning to commit, but let's say that school doesn't go through. Plan B, what other school are you considering? So your top 2 schools, and that's on the application form, the first, really the second page. So this is what it looks like. So I've been talking about, excuse this little thing right here. But I've been talking about the cover page. So like I said, these are the 3 scholarships we've talked about. If you qualify for all 3, go ahead and check off all 3 boxes. This is the first application portion, which again, it's your basic information. Then you have here your activities and awards. Yes, you can type directly into here. You would put, and one thing I want to emphasize on here is look at how we're asking your participation. So we start off with College Bound Boys and Girls Club related activities. Then we go on to College Bound and Boys and Girls Club honors and awards, extracurricular activities, school related honor and awards, and then volunteer and community service. We do ask that you follow this format. If you answer directly onto here, like I said, you could type and just circle what grades you were active. But if you want to go above and beyond, I'm going to show you examples of what we're talking about. Something that'll show us you're a true, you're a real member, an active member. Not a true member, but everyone's a true member, but an active member, because you're taking the time to sit with us to do these. And as we're working on academic resumes, we want to make sure that you're following this format. If we're asking for this format, take the time to match your academic resume to our format, because that shows us that you're serious about our scholarship, that you're following directions. Okay, so again, Don't just give me the basic resume that you might have done for one of your classes. Take the time to update that resume. You can use it as a template, but definitely you want to label your activities just how they are here. And lastly, you're going to put your 2 recommenders, their name, their contact info, and their title. What are they? Are they your teacher? Are they your case manager? Are they the Boys and Girls Club director, the College Bound director? Definitely want to tell us there. Then here you go into the aims and purpose. You'll have the 3 questions. And again, it's a 1 to 2 page double space essay. And then signatures, parent signatures. And then at the end, you even have a checklist to make sure that you have all the documents that are necessary to complete this package.
Now, the deadline has been and will be May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, very easy to remember. It's 4 days after you do your intent to enroll, you sign your contract as to where you're going to go to school. We're actually going to have a big celebration at Cal State Dominguez Hills, April 30th. And so literally a couple days after that, the application is going to be due. So Cinco de Mayo is the best way to remember it. We're going to be working on this effective this week as of, and then up until the Cinco de Mayo deadline. Don't wait till the last minute because the scholarship committee will know. They're very good about identifying those last minute essays, those last minute academic resumes, because things will start to not make sense. And so know when I tell you that the scholarship committee knows when you left it to the last minute, know when, because things are out of order, there's a little checklist here, and the scholarship committee will just, let us know that the scholarship was even out of order. And so you have plenty of time. I say start on it now. If you're doing Kiwanis, our scholarships is going to be a walk in the park for you because there's a lot of replication and there's a lot of work that you're already doing for Kiwanis that you can, again, and if you're printing and you're making copies of everything, you're going to have a lot of these items for our scholarships, and then gives you more time to do a lot of other scholarships.
And I know you can see the questions on there for the aims and purposes, which we'll cover, but if you meet with the case manager and you're working with your case manager on your application, like again, as soon as you have that in your hands, start working on it. Don't wait last minute. By working with the case manager, you'll have the first question answered. And the scholarship committee will know if you worked with the case manager or if you're just answering this question on your own. So again, take notes of these key little, we're giving you guys tips to make sure your application stands out. So if you want to make sure that the scholarship committee knows that you took the time for this, you're meeting with the case manager to go over your financial aid to be able to answer that first question. All right, so again, let's take it's a lot of information. Again, we don't want to scare you, but we just want to make sure that we're here to help you. We don't want you to do this on your own, to get stressed or to become just very like, oh my God, get anxiety, like I'm not going to be able to finish. It's so much. We're here to help you. So with that being said, can anybody name the activity that is being displayed on the screen? It's held in the summer, so I'll give you that hint. Okay, I think I saw someone chat in. So if you want to go ahead and put a guess, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, ACT Decathlon. So if you've been a part of it, you already know what it is. All right, let's go on to the next one. So record of activities and awards. You want to, again, we're just now getting down to the nitty gritty. You want to highlight your service within the club. You want to showcase that you were active not just once in a blue moon, but that you were active regularly, and disregard that typo. If you couldn't make it to everything, explain to us why. We understand, you might have a job, you might be responsible for taking care of your siblings, so you can only come that once a week for that 1 hour. Let us know. But for the most part, make sure, your case manager should know, because we take the time to get to know you. We know what our students are doing, what they're busy with, but make sure you're including that so the scholarship committee also knows. And make sure you show off our program. You're applying to the College Bound Boys and Girls Club Scholarship. If I don't see, or if any of the your case managers, if we're going over your packet to make sure everything's complete and we don't see college bound, that's a big red flag. So make sure you're highlighting college bound.
And I hope red is not your favorite color.
Alrighty, so this is what we're talking about, academic resumes. So we have school activities, what they've done, positions, and as you can see, this student was highly involved everywhere. College-bound educational events, NACAC College Fair. This student went to Find Your Voice at the San Pedro Boys and Girls Club, Cal State University Long Beach Nights, South Central Scholars, Latina Youth Leadership Conference. I know this might look a little different because of the pandemic. Most of you were in, I believe, 9th, 10th grade, if I'm not mistaken, 10th grade when all this happened. So it might look a little different, but if you were active with us virtually, make sure you remember every workshop that you were part of. Were you part of Money Matters in the summer? Were you part of Power of the Pen, the scholarship hour, the cash hour, SAT prep, ACT decathlon? What else did we have in the summer? We had like computer basics around the world. These are things that you want to kind of start remembering, making a list if you haven't written them down yet. Again, residential programs a specific student did, volunteering community service activities. And I can't see this one because it's really teeny tiny, but if you notice, this student has 6 pages of resume. I know for the most part, they tell you job resumes, you want to keep it at minimum 2. With us, there's no limit. The more, the better, because that shows that you remember everything. And it shows us your active participation within the program, within the club, and then even at your school and communities.
Now, we're going to help you get to this. This is not all going to be done overnight and by itself. We only ask that you help us help you. We do have forms that you can draft. You can pick our brain and ask us, hey, there was that one event one time, I don't remember. And we can definitely help you draft this, but it does take some initiative. You definitely have to make the time to sit down and do it. And we're going to do the best we can to make the best of your resume to become an academic resume. Some of you already have this from the EOP applications. Others of you have this from the UC applications. And time after time, we sat there and we would ask you, soccer, what's so great about soccer? Well, I'm the leader. Well, I took my team to the championship. Okay, then put that. When it was time to give a description during the UC app, for those of you that did the UC, students were telling us what soccer was. We know what soccer is. We were looking for more, or the universities or the colleges or the UCs were looking as to your role within soccer. And so this is going to be the exact same. If you already have it within the UC, you can copy and paste it, and then you do the format to do the resume format. We do have examples. We do have previous winners from previous years. Last year's winners are all at every clubhouse. But we only put these out until you're halfway done through your resume. We do not want any type of plagiarism because it's happened. It is someone else's work. If you plagiarize when you don't, once you're in college, you can get kicked out, and it's a serious crime in academia. And so you wouldn't do it in college, and definitely wouldn't do it for us. And so if we're asking you to put something together, it's because we initially want to show you what a final product looks like. I can't show you a final product without you having starting your own. And this young lady not only got into Riverside, but also got Toyota and is currently in her third year at UC Riverside. Also Joe Rich recipient, so she gets $1,000 from the Boys and Girls Club or from Joe Rich, and she gets Toyota on top of that, and on top of her financial aid. And so this was somebody that was part of our program from day one. We not once had a beggar to go to workshop, and this is the outcome. This was the final product, and this is what initially got her into college and into winning a lot of other scholarships. So again, everything's intentional. Nothing should be forced, or you shouldn't feel overwhelmed or should feel like I wish could have done more, because we're going to make sure that we pull all of this from you. We're going to pick your brain and really, really have it take us back to 9th grade, what that year looked like for you. So you'll all have something like this.
Oh, there's more. 7 pages, 8 pages, 9 pages, 10 pages. Okay, so this had a lot. 11 pages. So again, the more the better, especially if you're involved, your academic resume should be more than 2 pages. Alrighty, so now, can anybody name this event? Again, we've had it virtually, hybrid last year, virtually the year before. Can anybody in the chat tell me what event is this? Maybe you've participated as a college-bound kid or middle schooler in the past. Okay, I'm gonna count down to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, college-bound graduation. This is, you know, the culmination of your entire membership here with college-bound. So college-bound graduation, hopefully this year we can have it in person. We'll see how things go. But if not, we'll make it happen for you all. Okay, now itemization, like I was talking about, a lot of the times we have, you know, students say, I'm part of Keystone, and then they just tell me a little short summary of Keystone, but it's like you do so much with Keystone. So for example, the examples here, Keystone, a nationally recognized leadership group that stands for Leadership, Teen Outreach, Community Service, Career Exploration. As leaders, we collaborate to host community events, teen events, X, Y, and Z. And then from there, you could do every event you've done within Keystone. So it looks like this was not at the Wilmington site because I didn't recognize this event, but Bring Your Boo, it might have been at the port or at the San Pedro site. So if you've done anything like that, my Wilmington kids, if you've helped with Dia de los Muertos, go ahead and add that under Keystone. School supply drive, anything you've done within Keystone, maybe beach cleanups, shoe drive, toy drive, anything you've done, you want to itemize what you've done. Don't just give me Keystone because I know you do a lot with Keystone.
I think the most popular one and the most relevant one is going to be Weekend Wellness. That's no joke. That's a lot of labor, and it's getting the boxes ready the night before and then being there and so if you've done Weekend Wellness, that's definitely one that you need to for sure include, but it stands by itself. So that's what we mean by itemizing. There's a lot of things that stand by themselves. Keystone stands by itself. Boys and Girls Club stands by itself as a nonprofit organization. College Bound stands by itself as a college access program. Your academy stands by itself. The service you did within your academy stands by itself, and that is how you're going to branch out and it really give us a scope of what you've done in these last 4 years. Lastly, before I forget, you must attend College Bound graduation. That is mandatory. If you win the scholarship, no matter whether it's virtual or in person, you are required to attend because that is where you're going to find out whether you got it or not. Unless you have a very, very sensitive case where you really can't make it, definitely communicate that with us, but you have to go to graduation and then you get to find out if you got the scholarship and then take us out to Starbucks and buy us all coffee. I'm just kidding, no Starbucks.
Alrighty, so again, College Bound, itemizing it. So you have College Bound. What is College Bound? And within College Bound, I participated in Power the Pen. What did I do in Power the Pen? College exposure trips. What did I do? College Bound workshops. What did I do? What else? Sorry, I'm like blanking out, but there's a lot we do with it. You know, Money Matters. You did that under College Bound. So definitely take the time to work with us so we can help you again stand out. I think I sound like a broken record, but it's just, you know, if we're repeating something and you're here and you're like, this is the 5th time either Miss Karina or Miss Ingrid is saying it, it's for a reason. So make sure you're taking notes. Now, can anybody name this event? This was back in 2019. Let's see the chat. My Keystone people should know. Okay. Anybody want to take a guess? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. This was Bids for Kids. So if you participated, again, you're like, oh, that's right. I did go. Write it down.
Alumni event closing up, but no, this is one of our big time fundraisers, which is how we're able to do the work that we do because of these fundraisers, but it's not the alumni event. It is Bid for Kids.
All right, so let's talk about your letters of rec. You want to choose, again, we need 2. You want to choose someone you trust, someone that you know knows your situation and knows why you need the scholarship and knows maybe your struggles. Like if you come up from a disadvantaged background, they know that and they can highlight that despite that you've overcome all these obstacles and, you know, You don't want, a lot of the times, let's say, you don't want someone that is gonna write like 2 sentences about you because they're not used to writing letters direct. They're like, okay, yeah, I'll write one, and it's like 2-3 sentences. And it doesn't really give the scholarship committee much to know about you aside from what you're saying. So you want someone that'll know you and will validate what you're telling us in your application. So it must include 1 Boys and Girls Club staff. Again, take the time today to already ask your case managers. If you have 2, better. Anyone else that is not family, I don't, scholarship committee does not want to see a letter of rec from a sister, because obviously your sister's going to say these great things about you because that's your sister. And again, you want to make sure that they speak about your character, what you've accomplished, and just more context for your life. You want to let the scholarship committee know more than what you're talking about, because maybe you might not think you've done, I don't know, let's say a teacher could highlight a specific incident that, it's not included in the scholarship because it has nothing to do, but then that'll let the scholarship committee know about your character because they were able to witness you in a different setting other than, the club setting. So again, make sure someone that you'll trust that'll take the time to write the letter of rec for you. And like Ms. Karina said, if you ask someone, be mindful, check in, like, hey, don't just be like, hey, is my letter of rec done yet? Hey, is my letter of rec done yet? Like every day. No, just be, if you want to check in maybe, you ask them with enough time, a month, right? Check in 2 weeks, like, hey, have you started my letter of rec? Do you need anything else from me? Can I provide you with a little more information on my brag sheet? Is there any additional information you may need from me? So when you're checking in to see if they have your letter of rec, be willing to provide them something. Now, again, like Ms. Karina said, there's been times in the past where we've done over 20 letters of rec. We will eventually get to them. So don't overstress the recommender too, especially if it's a club staff or even teachers, because as we're helping the students get these packets together, we see that it's usually the same teachers that keep getting asked for these letters of rec. So again, be mindful of their time, but do check in and make sure that they do it.
And most importantly, provide them with the brag sheet. We serve way too many students. We are inside the high schools, we're at the club, and as much as we like to believe we know everyone to the T, we don't. We will forget what you did that one time, 9th grade. We won't remember what schools you got into because of the number of students that we serve. And so with these letters, again, not only are you being selective, but you may want to make sure that they have a brag sheet so they can brag about you, so they can vouch about the activities that you maybe say you were part of, and maybe highlight a financial burden that you may have, whether you're the first in the family, whether you're the oldest, whether you work. So definitely get very selective with your recommenders. It shouldn't be a coach, or shouldn't be maybe someone that you occasionally maybe talk with because you have a really great relationship with them, because at the end of the day, the scholarship committee wants to better know you. They want to know what are your struggles financially. They want to know what your struggles are at home. They want to know why you maybe didn't go the 2-year, or maybe didn't go the 4-year and consider the 2-year. They want to know everything as to maybe you did apply to the 4-year but didn't get in. Only your recommender will be able to highlight that. Your case manager will be able to highlight if you have a financial burden. Your case manager will be able to validate whether your parents have taxes the last 4 years or not, because they've been working with you all along. They can vouch and say so and so's parents don't do taxes. However, this is their financial. So they really get to paint a portrait of you. They really get to, and the case managers have done this for such a long time. They are pretty much the experts at these with the letters of reg. They really know what the scholarship committee is looking for. So be very selective. The club staff is great, but again, it should be from within. It's a college-bound scholarship. And so definitely talk to your case manager after today, your coordinator for that letter of reg, your regional director, if you've done Keystone or if you've done Weekend Wellness, because they'll be the only ones to be able to vouch about that part of your involvement with Boys and Girls Club. But if you've done college bound from day one, then maybe that letter of reg should be from a college bound staff, so that they can again vouch those and talk about and brag about those years that your involvement started from, especially if you've been involved for a very long time. Most definitely, your letter of reg should be from a college bound staff.
And just so you can see some examples of what the scholarship committee sees, like someone that picked the right recommender and someone that picked maybe a recommender that didn't take the time to really make the student stand out. So you see on your left-hand side, it's a very short, I mean, I'm not gonna read it. I was just kind of skimming through it and it's just funny. But like you can even see the name, Shirley Rush, math teacher, Abrupt Academy. So it's just like, it's very, copy and paste type of thing, like, oh, okay, they probably write this for everybody because it's not personalized. Where the one on the right, you can see the recommender took time to write about the student. It's a page, 2 pages long because they have so much to talk about them, specific examples about them, instead of just being like, oh, this student is a strong student, works well with others, and impress me with his consistent effort. But it's like, okay, well, what, why is the student working well with others? Can this teacher possibly, or this recommender possibly take the time to be like, oh, they work well with others because I saw that they took initiative when I assigned X, Y, and Z. So different things like that, this is what the scholarship committee looks at. And you want to make sure, again, you select the right recommenders for you, someone that'll make you stand out and kind of reiterate what you're putting on your essay or your scholarship packet. Ooh. Now, Ms. Karina just mentioned it. Can anybody name this activity? Five, four, three, two, one. So Weekend Wellness, again, she said you could put it under Keystone if you've been part of it. Maybe you're not part of Keystone and you just decided you want to help every Thursday to get these boxes together. It is an activity within the Boys and Girls Club that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So definitely you want to highlight it if you volunteered doing this. Now, okay, so the statement, I think, Ms. Karina, do you wanna, I think you're the pro at this. Okay, she's not on. Well, the statement of aims and purposes. So these are the questions. So you can't really see it. I apologize for the background, but it's 3 questions. It's 1 to 2 page double, 1 to 2 page double space explaining the following. Why are you applying and deserving of this scholarship? So a thorough explanation of your award letter. Again, make sure you're listening to these tips. And realistic plans for funding your education. Topics to discuss, the gift aid you received, clarify unmet need, even if estimated from your EFC, willingness to borrow loans, and other scholarships you have already received, and possibly family support. We want to know all of this because a lot of times we have students where they're like, okay, well, I don't want to take out loans. No one wants to take out loans, but realistically, if you don't have the money, are you willing to invest in yourself? That's what scholarship committees want to read, that if you want them to invest in you, are you willing to invest in yourself? So be realistic with how you're planning to pay for college. Also, where do you plan to attend, and what degree or program you're pursuing, and why did you pick that? That makes the scholarship committee know, and then as we're helping you, it kind of reiterates that you're sure what you want to study. Now, if you don't know, but you want to go to college, it's okay to explain that, like, you know what, I'm kind of exploring my options. I'm between this and this, but the more sure you are, the better it is for the scholarship committee to understand why you should be deserving of it. And lastly, include your future academic and personal goals.
If I may add, one of the most common mistakes that we have witnessed as case managers and as staff that has worked with the student body to put these scholarships together is that they'll overestimate. They'll look at the financial aid award and they'll say, or they'll write, I need $10,000 to attend UCLA. Hypothetically speaking, there's no such thing. Your unmet need, your gap, if you want to call it that, is wouldn't be possible. And so reason for the financial aid awards, again, we have been trained, we are knowledgeable as to breaking them down, to itemizing them, to really get down to the T. We'll get you the cheapest housing, we'll get you the cheapest rates, so that you're not having or believing or under the impression that you need $10,000 to go to UCLA. You'll look at these cost of attendance and they are very intimidating. However, these cost of attendance are either split in half because you're in a semester school, they're split in 3 because you're in a quarter system. Now, we don't expect any of you to know how to read a financial aid award because you would have gone to school for that and had to gone through training like the rest of us. And so They weren't maybe, they're not very student friendly, unfortunately, but we, again, have been that person. This is, again, what sets our program apart. We have been the ones with our families, with our parents, with our moms, with our single parents, helping them better understand not only the cost, but how to minimize the cost and how to maximize the aid. And so very, very, very important that you're working with the case manager and really understand that cost of attendance and what it really means, because it's really easy to misinterpret that. And we, in the past, I'd had essays that, have, well, I have an unmet need of $26,000 and it's super high. So very, very common mistake. And we don't blame you, because again, this aren't very student friendly, unfortunately. So we need to really get down to the T. Do you really need 5,000, or can we narrow it down to 2,000 instead? And this is, again, what the scholarship committee is looking to helping close that unmet need, helping you really get to your dreams and aspirations. And so definitely take the time to get your aims and purposes, your essay revised. Do not submit it without getting it revised. Draft something, pick our brain, let us know that you're struggling, but you must have at least your financial aid award. And if you don't, because we know that a lot of the schools don't even put them out until maybe like April, or maybe don't even put them out at all, because maybe you have to submit additional documentation to the financial aid office, and which has delayed your financial aid packet. Talk to us, because we have been able to do estimates right off the bat. When you fill out financial aid, you get one amount for filling out the FAFSA, which is the Pell Grant amount. We can work with that. We can work with your estimated family contribution. We can work with the loans. We know the numbers right off the top of our head. We know what account grant goes for. We know where to look for that information. And so if you don't have a financial aid award, you have to schedule an appointment soon, so we can already give you estimates. I can tell you what UCLA is going to cost you with the dorm, and I can tell you what a Cal State Long Beach will cost you without a dorm if you're going to go and come back. At some of these schools, you're going to have money left over. We've known that. We've seen that year after year, especially at Cal State Dominguez, and especially at Long Beach State, because they're commuter schools. You can go and come. Guess what? This scholarship committee is not looking for that. The scholarship committee is looking for, do you need money for books? Do you need money for transportation? Because if so, then you have a case. So again, don't oversee it or don't overanalyze it. Especially for those commuter schools, community college, we want to make sure you have money for the day of school. We want to make sure you have money for parking. And so again, talk to us. We have been able to work with even tax forms. We have been able to work with even pay stubs. So know that we are just knowledgeable when it comes to paying for college. We're actually going to have a big presentation next month in April on breaking down the financial aid award. We're going to educate you on it. We're going to educate your parents on it, so that whatever school you decide to attend is the best option for you financially, because at the end of the day, it does come down to financial aid, because it is a gatekeeper.
And just to add, the scholarship committee knows the work we do and knows that, like Ms. Karina said, we break down the financial aid award. So like I said, if you're meeting with us, you're going to get the answer, well, not the answer, but pretty much the information you need to answer this first question. And the scholarship committee will know if you met with the case manager or you did it on your own. For example, like she said, if you get the financial aid award for UCLA and it says your unmet need is 9,000 and you put that in your essay, they know you didn't meet with the case manager, because we'll find ways to cut down those costs and bring that maybe possibly from 9,000 that it says on your award letter to 3,000, which is a little more doable, a little more affordable, so to speak. So definitely take the time to meet with us. And then, so that's what your financial aid award letter looks like. It'll tell you what the total is again. And then it's very important to notice that part of your financial aid includes loans. So don't think like, oh, I'm getting a full ride because to this Willamette University, I'm getting a full ride because it costs $44,000 and they're giving me $44,000. Be careful and see what those $44,000 consist of. Where here I can automatically see $5,500 are loans. So it's like realistically you're getting $39,000. So again, meet with us, share these with us. If you haven't, I hope everybody's checking their portals. If you have, check your portals to see if you've been receiving those financial aid award letters.
And if I may just end with this, most of the schools, some schools will butter you up real nice. They'll make you believe, we'll give you a $12,000 scholarships in over 4 years, and it sounds really nice. But we really need to get down to the cost of attendance, because at some schools they're not telling you what it would cost you to go there. So it sounds really nice, 12,000 over 4 years. That sounds like a lot of money, but then when we go and look at the cost of attendance, your tuition alone is like 50,000. So 12,000 to a $50,000 bill isn't gonna make much of a difference. And so when we're having these conversations, we're doing it in the most professional, genuine, naive way that, and without, our intention is not to discourage you from going to higher education, but maybe be transparent about what these cost of attendance, these colleges go for. Traditionally, we know this. The debt of students is ridiculous at just at any school at this point because of cost of living. Your dorm is going to cost you more than your tuition at some schools, because the colleges thinks okay to make a brand new dorm and charge you maybe double than what it used to go for it. And so again, sounds really nice and it looks really nice on paper. And yes, of course, any student in high school would be excited to get an offer like that. But also, it's very important to read between the lines, read the small print, because again, oftentimes it ends up being more in the long run than what that scholarship really entitles.
Okay, and then just for the sake of time, I'm gonna skip these. So again, additional documents you want to include on your application. So like we mentioned, your high school and college transcripts, your financial aid award letters, and your, if you do the DREAM Act, it's called the CAR. If you do the FAFSA, it's the SAR. And if you don't have either, like if you don't have your financial aid award letter, definitely include your CAR or SAR. And let's print out those, let's log onto your web grants. Let's see what Cal Grant you're eligible for, so we can help you do those estimates. Professional photo, again, no filters, just be you, similar to the pictures throughout the presentation. Again, no little bunny ears, no little peace signs, none of that. And your consent form, again, just to reiterate, it allows us to share your application with our partners and donors for you to have access to more money. And we're gonna skip this as well. So here has a wrong date. So, but like Miss Karina said, the deadline is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. It is due when the club closes at 8 p.m. No ifs or buts. So make sure you're not waiting till that day to get your packet together. That day, if anyone, you can submit it early, but if anyone's submitting on May 5th, it's because you're just making sure that the case managers are going over your packet and everything's in the order it's supposed to be, and you're just getting ready to submit. And so like Ms. Karina already mentioned, when do you find out if you win? So at the college bound graduation. So in order for you to discover if you received the scholarship, you need to be at the graduation. If you are not there, then sorry, the scholarship is no longer yours. And remember, remember Google Forms. So with that, the Google Forms is just making sure that you're signing in for workshop, that you are, if we're saying like, okay, the registration is now open for college bound graduation, that you're filling out in your RSVP. Again, unless you have extenuating circumstances, you caught COVID, so you can't be there in person, let us know. And maybe you have a competition that day that you really can't miss because it's for, the finals or anything like that. Communicate with us. Don't just assume that we're gonna know what you're doing. So if you can't make it, it has to be a very good, valid reason for you not to make it. You need to communicate with us ahead of time. So now the deadline is May 5th. Soon we'll let you know when the college bound graduation will take place, so that you can plan around that date to find out if you won the scholarship.
And if I may just end with this, it's not a competitive scholarship. You're not going against each other. I can tell you now from the years that we've been doing this, that there has been more than enough money to go around. There's like no capacity that if we probably wanted to give a scholarship to every single one of you that are still logged in, we might be in a position to do so. Some of them are renewable, so don't fear or don't think your competition. And just so you know, your only competition is really your own clubhouse. So if hypothetically, let's say Wilmington only has 50, then you're only competing against 50, but we know that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a lot more than that. But even if it was to be 100, there's still no restrictions. And so the more applications we actually collect, the more money is going to be available to every single one of you. So definitely take advantage of this. We take a lot of pride in the work we do because we have helped close the achievement gap, not only within high school, but into going higher education. We want to alleviate all those financial barriers. We get it. We were once first generation college students, college graduates, and so we know the struggle is real. We look at cost of attendance every year and we see how much college goes up and maybe how much the aid goes up. Financial aid is going to go up next year by $300. And so know that at the legislation level, there is going to be more money out there in the long run. And so we are only here to help you claim that money, which we know oftentimes gets left on the table. So know that we take a lot of pride in the work we do because we want to make sure that you have the money to go and that you have the money to have a roof over your head and meals on your table. And so with that, thank you so much for your time. We are aware that we went a little over, but I think it's worth it. And as an incentive, we're going to make sure that every single one of you, all 34, there was 46 of you at some point, all 46 of you are going to get it before anyone else. I'd like to give a shout out to Kelly and Alan, Christina, for being active in the chat. You have answered correctly. Kenneth answered correctly. Maria answered correctly. Kelly actually answered twice, and Ellen, Christina answered. So we're going to make sure that you get a nice little gift card as a thank you and for being active. So shout out and kudos to these individuals that were just on it on the chat and knew what we were talking about. You are definitely going to be a runner up for that $10,000 scholarship because you knew your stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to let Ms. Ingrid end this, and that is it for today.
And last reminders, have your application reviewed, period. No if or buts, have someone check it. This is our job and we want your success. We will help you with the aims and purposes, everything in between, and we'll help you polish that application to make sure it's the best it could possibly be. And without further ado, thank you all for being here. Again, sorry for going over, but like Ms. Karina said, this is very important and valuable information that you're receiving. And we'll see you all next workshop on Zoom. But if you're here on site, we'll see you right now. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. Awesome job.
Team, I'll talk to you about the winners and I'll get you the gift cards. You have a Kelly, Alan. I'll contact you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Comments, concerns? Does anybody want to take the time to ask for letters of rec now? We're here.
They're probably trying to process all of this information, but we'll be available. So you can always get on our list of letters of rec. We do have one, believe it. And it's a reminder to us to have it before the deadline. So,
but don't forget our thank you card. Don't forget, we all like Starbucks.
Hey, a thank you really goes a long way. A please and thank you goes a long way. If you come in and demand these stuff, good luck trying to get a letter of rec from anyone. So a please and thank you goes a long way. A courtesy email goes a long way. A brag sheet goes a long way. Like I said, we work with a lot of students, and so if you really think we're gonna remember everything you did, I regret to inform you that it's not always the case.